What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode. Now, did you know that most riders quit within their first year of riding a motorcycle? Statistically, it's well documented that in the first year of riding, there's a heightened risk for most motorcycle riders. A study by the Highway Loss Institute conducted that motorcyclists are at a risk of getting into their first motorcycle accident within their very first month of riding a motorcycle. Additionally, a quarter of all motorcycle claims happen in the first 30 days of getting your motorcycle endorsement. How crazy is that, right? So there's a lot to say about that, and a lot of it has to do with a lack of education, because people just buy a motorcycle, they think it's just like driving a car. They have no idea that it requires a lot of responsibility and learning in order to become a proficient, safe rider on the road. So in this video, my goal is for new riders to understand the different types of challenges and milestones that you're going to encounter within your first year of riding a motorcycle. So as a beginner rider, if you're looking for a structured way to learn things from zero to hero in under 90 days, take a look down below. There's a link for my Motorcycle Mastery ebook. It's a free ebook. It's packed with 120 pages of learning material that's taken me months to put together, and I highly recommend that you download the book and check it out. There's also a Facebook group where you and I can communicate one-on-one. You can ask me anything you like. So definitely take a look at those resources, because I made it for people like you. The first thing we're going to talk about is mastering the controls and your motorcycle, because in the first year of riding, this is going to be the most crucial thing, and a lot of it is going to be dependent on how confident you are, at least in the beginning, because I know confidence is probably a big thing for you guys, and the next thing is probably riding your motorcycle in road conditions like the one I'm riding right now, with lots of cars and traffic and stuff like that. So if we can get those two things down, then you'll be good to go. But just to give you guys a quick fact, in the beginning I was extremely afraid of speed. Fast forward 5 years later and I'm conquering tracks, and my boys, that could be you too, don't forget that. In the beginning, we all lack confidence, and it's something that comes natural for us because it's a completely new thing, you know? So if you live in the United States, we're all pretty much used to driving manual cars. Unless you're a motorhead like me, then you're going to start driving some manual cars. So if you get into motorcycles, then it's going to be an easy transition. On my left hand side here, we get the clutch. On my right hand side, we have the right front brake lever, and then below me is the rear pegs for the brakes, and then the shift lever is on my left foot. Yeah, you're pretty much using your entire body to ride a motorcycle. You'll never ever be bored riding a motorcycle, because it's something that's extremely engaging, and it requires 150% of your attention. Not 100, but 150. Yeah, it's way, you need a lot of attention in the beginning to ride a motorcycle. That's why the statistics kind of make sense, you know, like in the first 30 days of riding a motorcycle, there's a claim on insurance policies. It makes complete sense. There's just way too much to learn in the beginning. There's a lack of education. People get their MSF course, which I talked about in the previous episode, and then, you know, they think they know everything, and they go out and ride and do dumb things and make mistakes and blah blah blah. So to avoid all that stuff in your very first year of riding a motorcycle, I got some suggestions for you. Don't do what other people do, which is to get a crazy fast motorcycle and then join online Facebook groups and then go on canyon runs and follow really fast people in your first month of riding a motorcycle. That's a complete disaster. Instead, I would recommend that you ride alone. This hobby should be practiced alone. It should never be practiced with someone else. In the beginning, at least, not indefinitely. I'm not saying not to ever be social with riding a motorcycle, because it is a lot of fun to be social. But in the beginning, in order to minimize as much of the stuff that are part of the statistics that I talked about in the beginning, you got to do it the right way. So what I would recommend for you is, because the clutch and the brakes and the weight of the motorcycle, as well as the speed and the sensations and the wind and the sounds, and God, there's a million things that are going to be a brand new thing to you, and they were to me. As I mentioned to you, I was very brand new, just like you. I was learning to ride. I didn't know what to do in the beginning. No one explained the stuff that I'm telling you right now, you know? I wish I had someone like me to explain all these things in the beginning, but I had to learn all this stuff on my own. There were motor vloggers back then, but you know, it was mostly squid content. people like me didn't exist, or they were just in the beginning stages of teaching people how to ride a motorcycle. Plus, I didn't know better. So in the beginning, you know, I made a lot of dumb mistakes. And situations like this, I would literally like drop my bike. Like I would slow down and there would be a red light, boom, I dropped my bike. What? How the hell did this happen? I would be confused about it, very embarrassed. My ego would be on the toilet. You know, like there are a lot of things that in the beginning people make mistakes from, and that I don't want to be you. I want you to learn from my mistakes and don't do the same things. So that's why in this 10-part series, we're going to be talking about so many of these things. So hopefully you're taking some notes here, some mental notes at least. Anyway, an empty parking lot in the beginning is going to be your best friend, because over there you can get used to the clutch, you can get used to your front and rear brakes, which I talked about in the last episode, taught you how to use them and what to do with your clutch and everything like that. So that's why this video follows that one. So assuming you already know how to ride, but if you don't, please make sure to watch the previous episode. And so go into your parking lot and practice maneuvers. You know, do a couple of circles, do figure eights, practice your starts, practice your stops, pretend you're a red light, everything that you can imagine, do inside that parking lot. And then once you're finished from the parking lot, you know, you don't have to do this for an hour at a time. Do it for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then gradually ride to the nearest shopping center. And inside the shopping center, what I would do is I would use the shopping center's intersection. Shopping centers have multiple sections where you're stopping, waiting for cars to pass, and then moving forward. So each one of those things are intersections, and that allows you to become a lot more comfortable and allows you to gain a lot more confidence. Because remember, in the beginning, you're not going to have confidence. So how do you boost your confidence in the beginning? Number one, parking lot drills. Getting comfortable with your motorcycle's weight, the brakes, the clutch, all the different sensations that you feel, all the different body parts that you have to use in order to get the motorcycle to do exactly what you want it to do and get you there safely and back. So confidence is key. Work on that. That's your main objective in the beginning. And to do that, use parking lot drills and use intersections within parking lots, because in parking lots the fastest you can go is probably 5 miles an hour. So that's the best place to learn intersections. As you can tell, I'm doing 55 miles an hour. There's an intersection, there's an intersection, here's another intersection. Down the road there's probably going to be 50 more that I'm going to have to deal with. But in a parking lot situation, you're only doing 5 miles an hour at most, 10 miles an hour at most. And so the risk is far less, and gradually your confidence is going to increase. I would also advise against taking very, very long rides in your first, I would say, couple of months. Make this a gradual process. You know, like, this is not a marathon, it's a sprint. You're supposed to learn to ride and get comfortable, and as you get comfortable, you go for longer rides, and as you get comfortable, you can perhaps dabble in group riding, because in the beginning, like I mentioned before, I would not recommend to do group rides. There are a lot of people who are faster than you, probably better than you, and they've already done the things that I'm telling you to do. They probably have years of experience, or it could be the complete polar opposite. They could be absolute squids and do some really dumb stuff. And so the way group dynamics works is that everyone essentially shares the same exact brain. So if there's a really dumb person, everybody in the group becomes dumb. So as an example, if they're speeding, you're going to speed. If they're splitting lanes in a highway, trying to do 150 miles an hour to catch up with everyone else, you're going to do it. And in the beginning, like I mentioned, there are so many things that are brand new to you. So if you follow that group think or that group mentality process that comes with riding in groups, you're going to make a lot of mistakes, and you're going to be part of that statistic. So I would recommend riding alone. I would recommend not doing very long rides, because the first, I would say, first 3 to 6 months is all about getting used to your motorcycle, learning it, figuring out the speed of the motorcycle, getting used to it, gradually going a little bit faster, gradually taking corners a little bit faster, gradually hitting the canyons. You know, you're not going to do all this stuff day one, and I would not recommend that for you. What I would recommend is doing things the methodical way. And this is exactly what I teach in my motorcycle mastery course. I teach you in a very methodical way, because for everything there's a step. You start with step number 1, and then you end up with step number 100. And there's everything in between that needs to go there in order for things to operate the proper way. I'm still working on my motorcycle mastery course, and it's slated to be dropped sometime in February or March of next year. I don't think I ever brought you guys here. This is called Fiesta Island. That dude right there is having a lot of fun in that jet ski. I want to do that. Anyway, the last thing I want to leave with you is this. Motorcycling is something that you should take very seriously because the potential for risk is very, very high. However, you can mitigate these risks by constantly learning. Never stop learning when it comes to motorcycles. Even to this day, I constantly read, I constantly watch YouTube videos. I'm actually thinking about my next course at the very moment, figuring out what I want to do next. And then finally, respect the power. Because in the beginning, no matter what kind of motorcycle that you get, whether you get an R3 or you get a Ninja 400, it still has more power than that car right there and this one right here. So 0 to 60, you can take any of these cars. 0 to 100, you can probably take any one of these cars as well. Pick out the slowest motorcycle and it's as fast, if not faster, than any car on the road. So respect the power. Go at a very slow pace. You can enjoy this hobby for the rest of your life if you do it properly. And once again, don't forget to download my ebook, link down below, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.